Good morning, everybody. I'm here with the amazing psychic Liz Cross. How are you doing today?
Oh, very well. Don't forget the backup channel, the CTT channel. It will be listed in the first comments down below. Very important that you are subscribed to that backup channel. As of late, a lot of people like me have been getting their channels taken down. So make sure you're subscribed. If we need to, we will jump on that backup channel. Very, very important.
Yep. All right. Today we're going to do a probe on AI and also a murder mystery surrounding ChatGPT and OpenAI. But first, I'll just mention that I have a tip jar. If you are interested in supporting me, you can go over to Ko-fi, however you pronounce it, ko-fi.com. There's a link down in the comments there for my tip jar. So please consider throwing me a few shekels, some dollars, some francs, some well, whatever you got. It is all appreciated. And we will continue on with the post. Thanks very much to everybody who has contributed.
Yes, and just to also say, Mr. Reality, send him your good wishes and good vibes over. He's not well at all at the moment, so we hope to have him back with us soon. We know you're listening, Mr. Reality, and we're sending you love.
Sending you love and light. All right. Okay, so the first thing I want, so let's bring in Alan Turing. I think he's a good person to have on our side for this probe.
Oh, yes. Yes, I love channeling him.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna rely on him for some information from the beyond on these topics. So I'd like to probe OpenAI and ChatGPT. There's a few things. So just in the news recently, we've had this huge, I don't know if it was a marketing ploy or if it was all organic, but and I don't even know if you've heard of this, but ChatGPT, it became very popular about a week ago to use it to basically transform pictures or whatever you wanted into this specific art form called Ghibli. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, so my apologies. But it's an anime kind of art form, and so it was like a craze that happened for like a week where everybody was going to ChatGPT. They're putting in their photos, they're putting in their whatever, and it was transforming it like perfectly into the style of this artist. So there's a company or a studio called the Ghibli Studio, and they have intellectual property. It's like imagine that you had The Simpsons, like their style, right? And you can do this with ChatGPT. You can put any picture in there and say, I want you to make me look like a Simpsons character, and it will do that. And for whatever reason, people just went crazy over turning their pictures into this art form that it was, I think they came out and put a tweet out and said, please stop, you're melting our circuits over here. And they had to actually rate limit people from doing all these pictures, even paid customers. So it just went viral. And it brought up a lot of questions around IP, right? Intellectual property, because this AI is getting so sophisticated now that you can copy anybody's IP and just turn it into your own, and they're not getting paid anything for it. So you had millions, I'm not kidding, millions of people transforming their pictures into this intellectual property, and that company didn't see a dime from it, right? They were monetizing it on different platforms, and nobody saw a dime for it. So
What what do you mean? I'm sorry. I knew about this craze because I'm on a few groups and they were also creating like dolls.
Sure.
Like the figures, action figure dolls or
Right.
whatever. So I
So
saw that as well. How did who didn't profit? What happened there?
so there's a studio called Studio Ghibli, and they own the intellectual property for their specific art style. Like they have a cartoon and they have characters that look a certain way. Just imagine something easier for you to understand, like The Simpsons.
Hmm.
Simpsons are very recognizable, that art form, right? You recognize a Simpsons character, no, even if you didn't know who the character was. You look at it, you know it's The Simpsons, right?
Mhm.
So in the same way, people were making their own art by maybe putting in their own picture. Like I could take a picture of myself, put it into Chat GPT and say, please make me into a Simpsons character. And it will perfectly turn you into a Simpsons character. Right.
Oh,
And in the same way, they were doing it with this specific art form. So this company owns the rights to their intellectual property. And we had millions of people basically turning their home photos or whatever into this art style, right? And nobody saw a dime for it. And this happens all the time now because the AI is so sophisticated, it's perfect at copying the art style of whoever, whatever company. So it brings up questions of what is the future of intellectual property now? If anybody can log onto their computer and make up their own picture in the style of The Simpsons or the this or the that, and then monetize their content, right? Make videos with it, make posts, monetize posts with it, and these companies aren't seeing a dime from it. How, I mean, that like in the future, are we still going to have intellectual property? Like the direction that this is heading. So I want to ask Alan Turing first, like, is this going to disrupt the way that we view intellectual property or possibly destroy it going forward?
This is going to disrupt the way we view. Absolutely, it's going to turn it on its head, and it's going to create intellectual property wars, like showdowns, is what he's saying. What do you mean by showdowns? Like major companies fighting it out, because you can basically steal someone else's idea, put a tiny little spin on it, right? Maybe, like you said, your own photograph or whatever. But it's still originally the idea of someone else. And it's going to create mayhem. Will intellectual property ever be the same again? No.
Right. Yeah, it looks like what's going to happen. So will they find a way to, I mean, my first thought personally, I was like, this is a perfect use case for crypto because these big companies can basically put invisible watermarks on all of their, intellectual property. And if somebody steals it, then you know that they stole it, basically. Like you have a way to authenticate all of your digital whatever content with a blockchain. Can we ask Alan Turing, will the blockchain be implemented to authenticate all intellectual property that's digital in the future?
Um, no,
No.
no, I feel, uh, will the blockchain be the ones that do this in the future? No, I don't see how that can match up. I don't
Mm.
see how, you mean like as far as like minting photographs, minting art?
Well, all of it would be authenticated. So say you have Simpsons, for instance, just using that so you can recognize that. They'll have everything that they put out is going to have an official signature that's invisible on it. So that if it gets infringed upon, you know if it's official or it's not official, if it's a counterfeit or if it's real.
I think what I'm getting from him, I'm getting a no.
Mm,
He's shaking his head no. It's
interesting.
very difficult to do. You would basically have to incorporate blockchain into everything you do. Music, cinema, all of that.
So will they come up with a way to enforce this then some other way where we can tell the real from the fake?
Will they come up with a way to be able to tell the real? It's going to take a long time
Mm.
to figure out how to do it. It's going to be encrypted. So there's going to be like secret codes, encrypted codes running behind the real version. So what does that mean? If you're creating a video production or a movie production or whatever, screen production, there are going to be digital aspects to that screen production. And there will be, like what you say, a watermark behind it. It's going to be in the form of a code.
But it's not going to use a blockchain.
That code will be legally represented. That there will be a legal attachment to that code. There will be a filing of that code attachment to whatever the production is, the work of art, the movie, the film. What about music? Yes. Also, there's going to be some sort of code. So they will incorporate a way to affix a code, a digital code to the back of these things.
Mm.
And if it ever comes into question, it's going to be top secret, the coding. But if it ever comes into question, like you stole my song, right? Which happens, you stole my idea, you stole this, you stole that. When you have that code in the back of your work, now bearing in mind that work would automatically have to be, that it would have to be something that's already published in
Hmm.
some form or fashion. There's a lot of people that have written books and that talk about their book ideas, but that's an idea. You can't really put a code behind the idea. They would have to patent the idea first.
Yeah,
But
you have to
then,
publish it first, just
yes,
like you do with copyright.
right. Is this going to also have to do with it is. Copyright is going to be on the fringes of this as well. We're entering into a new digital war. So if it ever comes into question, you've stolen this, or if somebody says this was my original work, no, this was my original work, because obviously they're making money. Say, and with YouTube also, so if you had two people publish the same content on two different channels, that's automatically flagged with YouTube, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Immediately.
Mm.
And the reason that is flagged with YouTube, because if they allowed that to happen, then somebody could load a video 10,000 times, and then obviously, it's hitting everybody's feed, and they don't like that. But if you have two things that have been published and, this belongs to me, no, this belongs to me, then you're going to have to find that registration of the code.
Yeah. So who's going to be liable for this? Because like OpenAI, like ChatGPT, right? They are the
Mm.
tool that allow everybody to do this, and they are creating algorithms that perfectly copy everybody's style, right?
Mm.
So is it going to be the person that makes that uses the AI? Is the user going to be responsible, or is the company going to be responsible that has made it possible?
Is the user going to be made responsible? No, it's going to fall on the company eventually.
Because right now it's free reign, wild, wild west. Does
Mm-hmm.
right? So at some point, these AIs, these popular ones like ChatGPT, are they going to be taken to court and having to do something about it?
Are they going to be taken to court? I feel like Congress will do something about it. Okay. There will have to be new laws in place. Don't forget, if you think about like Facebook and MySpace and whatever else, all the new stuff that comes out, it's following a similar pattern where everybody's spouting their opinion. They're posting whatever they want to do. They're doing this. They have free reign. And then what happens? It all gets shut down. Laws come into place to protect the creators, to protect the obviously the patent holders, or to shut people up, whatever it is. And the onus always falls on the company. Okay. I mean, in the UK, it falls on the company and the individual.
Now, AI is international, right? You're going to
Yeah.
have AIs that exist that are outside of the law of the United States. So there's that,
Yeah,
right?
but this is going to be international corporate law, is what I'm
Right.
getting. This being, yes. And so I see something to do with Microsoft. He keeps shouting Microsoft.
Oh.
I feel like Microsoft are they the ones that are going to end up being sued? Yeah, I feel something to do with Microsoft is going to end up being sued, and they're the ones that are going to have to put the laws in place. Now, for a little company like this Ghibli, or
Studio
however you
Ghibli.
pronounce it, do they stand a chance against Microsoft? No. Is it going to be a class action? I feel it could be a class action,
Uh,
actually. Yeah. I'm getting that so strongly because if you're going up against a conglomerate like Microsoft and their legal department and
Yeah,
their
really.
pot of money, yeah, it's very rare that you're actually even going to get anywhere with that. They're going to crush you
Yeah.
legally.
Yeah.
But a class action, and so, but is this before or after Congress steps in? I think it's after Congress steps in. Congress are going to have to be the ones. The only real recourse at the moment is going to be Congress stepping in and creating boundaries and laws.
So the
Now, I
only,
know you're saying international,
yeah.
but a lot of this stuff is originating from here in the US. Like the companies are here.
That's true. So the analog that I can think to this in the past is when we had, you know, Napster and all of those, when we first got file sharing services pop up and everybody was pirating music, it took a long time for us to eventually transition from the physical mediums of music and albums, and now we all have streaming, right? So that was like a catalyst to start everything going towards streaming music. Everybody gets their music off streaming services now for the most part. So is this a similar thing where it's going to massively change this industry where we're going into some new paradigm? I don't know what that would be, the equivalent of the streaming, but does Alan Turin think we're going to get something equivalent to that?
Yes, and this is just the beginning stage.
Yeah.
AI has to have control. See, this is the problem with AI. He says, it can become uncontrollable.
Yeah.
And what he means by that is it's growing so fast and so quick that the law cannot keep up.
Right. Okay, so let's move into the second part of this probe because this is kind of a preamble to solve a murder mystery that may be connected to this all. And this happened months ago, but with this whole question of intellectual property popping up, there is evidence to show that this person who did work for OpenAI, which is the company behind ChatGPT, may have had information around intellectual property infringement or more sinister information. He was going to testify against OpenAI, and he died right before he was about to testify under mysterious circumstances. So in the second part of this video, we're going to probe what indeed did happen to this man who was a former employee of OpenAI who was about to testify against them.
Ooh.
So yeah, it's very interesting, so to say the least. So we're gonna have a part two of this video. So if you want to find out what happened, and if there is indeed a conspiracy here to silence someone, you have to watch the second part of this video, which is behind our paywall. It's only a few dollars a month. You support our channel, support everyone like myself who's cooking up these probes as well, and you get access to all of the videos we do, part ones and part twos, and you get access to our Discord as well and our Patreon. So you get to be part of our community and all kinds of extra information that we're giving on there as well. So it's way worth your time, way worth a few dollars a month. So please consider supporting us. Go to Patreon/remote viewing and beyond.com. And we hope to see you
Close.
in the second part of the
You'll get it right one of these days.
Okay, yeah.
Patreon.com/remote viewing and beyond. This is going to be awesome. You know how much I love the murder stuff. So yeah, I can't wait to dig into this one. I had no idea you lined this up for me today. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. We'll see you on the flip side.
Thank you.